What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. I'm gonna give some people some time to see if they matriculate into the channel. This is right off the fly, no plan. Smoking a little vape stick. I see some people already in this house. Nobody's hit me on the chat. I'm gonna wait till some people hit me up on the chat before I begin to say what I have to say. What's good, Yusef? I'm just giving it a little bit of time before I say what I have to say. How you doing out there, my brother? What's good, Furious Mert or Thomas? What's good, Kendra? Just dropping in for a quick hello, and then gonna bounce on out. Get up on out of here. But I'm gonna let some people matriculate in. Not too many. As long as I see like about 20 heads, I'm not a big draw or anything like that. I've traveled. Yeah, I've traveled here and there. Been tried and never denied and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm not. Look, I'm not new out here. I'm not new out here, my brother Yusef. We'll wait for a few more people to get in here. I'm gonna give it one more minute. All I need to do is see a certain amount of numbers. Okay, I feel you, Yusef. It's good, Square. Richmond 1, New Orleans, man. That's where I'm from. Richmond 1, New Orleans, Louisiana. What year is this? 2020. I did that in 91, brother. 91. But anyway, man, let me get into this before I take too long to go into it. So anyway, I posted a video about Meg Thee Stallion, okay? And I posted the video because prior to posting that video, I had a conversation with Keep It 100, also known as Marcus Aurelius, and then I also brought Dr. Johnson in on the conversation. And ultimately, the gist of our conversation was related to accountability. And He said he thought I was from St. Louis. I am from St. Louis, but I went to school in New Orleans, Brother Adam Williams. Yeah, I went to school in New Orleans. I went to Xavier University, NOLA, from 89 to 93 was when I had my tenure in that city. Nice place to visit. And also I have family members who live in New Orleans. And so, during my youth, I would go back and forth from St. Louis to New Orleans. So I have 6 cousins, girl cousins. All of them are girls. And my uncle and his wife used to house me every summer. And I used to go to a boys club down there. I don't know if it was St. Mark's or St. Jude's. I can't really recall because I was so young, but that's how I learned how to play pool, how to play the billiards. But at any rate, so back to the main conversation. We posted this video. Well, I posted the video just kind of, to give you some overall sense of how this woman carries herself. So the video is about, oddly enough, it's about domestic violence. Now, Meg Thee Stallion, now I'm not here to indict anybody. I don't know all of the details of what occurred in her most recent foray with violence. But I mean, some of the things that this woman says on this video are quite appalling. I mean, the whole video is about domestic violence. And basically she laughs, she downplays her actions, and she obsesses over herself about how ugly she looks in a mugshot. So, what a darling lady. Now, I posted the video because I just wanted to show people, again, the overall and general disposition of this woman. So if you're not taken aback by her vulgarity, and look, I don't have a problem with vulgarity. I use it quite often myself from time to time. However, I am able to articulate complete sentences. I have a wide array of words that I could use in order to express myself. I do it for punctuation and emphasis. It's not something that's necessary. I am quite capable of holding a prolonged conversation without ever resorting to using vulgarity. I mean, I could. So everything I say will not be littered with fucks and bitches and this motherfucker and that motherfucker. Like, I can go there. And there are times when it's appropriate to go there. Thank you, my brother, going postal. But thank you very much for the donation. But I don't feel like, there's a necessity to go there all the time, especially when detailing a subject of such gravity and weight. There's some things that you take light and that you laugh about, and then there are certain things that you don't take light and you don't laugh about because of the impact, the seriousness, the gravity, the weight of the subject about which you're talking. Okay, so again, if you're not taken aback by the vulgarity of this young lady, and again, I stated in a previous video, it could potentially be that, this is part of her on stage persona. This is just something that she's doing in order to, keep on or to keep up the act. But again, there's some things that you speak lightly of and that you joke about, and then there's things that you don't joke about. Okay. Now, if you're not taken aback by the vulgarity, you have to be, to some degree, taken aback by the mannerisms, the comportment, which to me just generally spells out ratchetness and a glorification of hood rat culture. I'm talking about the hand gesturing, the hair flipping, the laughing, the neck rolling. It's performative to me. It's disingenuous to me. And I'm not going to go in too much depth about what she said, but I mean, the first thing that she says is about this interaction that she had with this gentleman way back when. I mean, she snatches his phone. Then she says she didn't snatch the phone. Then she says she was asking the guy who he's texting. Then she says he gives her the phone. I'm like, well, which one is it? Like if I was an attorney cross-examining her as a witness to her own interaction in this violent encounter, it would cast some sort of aspersion on it. I would be like, well, what did he do? I mean, did you snatch the phone? Uh, did he give you the phone? Like, what happened? So we know that there was some fuss about this man and what he was doing on his phone. That's what we know. We know all of the beef started over him and his phone. Not her and her phone, but him and his phone and what was going on his phone. Now, as far as I'm concerned, in relation to that particular video that I posted on my channel, it sounds like emotional dependency to me. What do you need to be all up in this man's phone for? Now, would it be appropriate for a man to be all up in a woman's phone? Who you texting? Who you calling? Who you texting so much? Right? Is it appropriate for a man to demand to see a woman's phone? Right? Let me see that. Let me see who you texting. Who are you texting? Wouldn't that be considered, if the genders or the sexes were flipped, wouldn't that be considered to be harassment? Wouldn't it be considered to be stalking kind of behavior? If a man did that, let me see your phone. Who are you texting? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? But she had no problem with doing any of this. I mean, she's just telling you, this is what I was doing. Right? So the next thing the woman says in this video is that she was trying to walk away and that the man was grabbing at her. He was pulling her. But then she says he was pushing me. So what was it? Like, I mean, if, let's say, for example, you're trying to walk away from somebody, what are they going to push you away for? It sounds to me like a bunch of BS. If somebody is trying to get you to come here to have a conversation, they're not going to push you. They're going to try to pull you. They're going to try to run towards you or to grab you or something of that nature. I'm not saying that's what should be done, but I'm just saying typically that's what a man will do. He will try to grab her to get her to come here. What is he pushing her for if he's not allowing her to walk away? What is he pushing her for? Sounds like to me she's not telling the entirety of the story. She's not giving you all of the details. And again, the devil's strategy is not to tell a lie, but to tell part of the truth so as to absolve themselves of any kind of incriminating, evidence or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying the whole issue to me just sounds like a bunch of BS and how she's presenting it, right? Then the next thing she does after she says that the man was pushing her and pulling her, we don't know which one it was. It must have been, I mean, in the way she characterizes it, it was both. So, okay, I'll just take her at a word for that. Let's just take her word for that. Then she denounces domestic violence, right? But then she admits that she put her hands on this man multiple times on prior occasions. She just openly says it. She says it. When that nigga got out of line, I was wrapping his ass up. Go look at the video. You'll see she says it openly, plainly. When that nigga got out of line, I was wrapping his ass up. Then the next thing you know, she says, somehow the man ends up with her phone and he ends up stomping on it. Now, we don't know what happened to his phone other than she ended up with the phone in her hands and was scrolling through his messages and found out that he had a baby with some other woman. Don't know how long. I know it takes 9 months to have a baby. Don't know if apparently the man wasn't interacting with the woman, Don't know. I mean, maybe it was his secret to keep, But whatever the case may be, all I'm trying to say is the woman openly admits that she engaged and was an aggressor in a domestic violence situation on multiple occasions with this guy she's talking about. And then she proceeds to attack the man. And then when the police come, they see her hitting him. And the man actually says, yeah, she was hitting me. So what was he supposed to say? Because I can guarantee you this, if he didn't say anything, he was going to jail. He was going to be hit with a family violence case. Bottom line. So here she is on, like, just telling on herself, just letting everybody know that, yeah, I put hands on niggas and I got a temper. I got a bad temper. Anybody that knows me knows I got a bad temper. So when it comes to this next thing that she's dealing with, like this Tory Lanez situation, I mean, she's already established that she can get violent. This kind of behavior just does not end from one relationship to the next. It's not something that inheres in the person that she's dealing with. This is a problem that she takes with her wherever she goes. Now, I don't know what Tory Lanez and her relationship was like. That's, you know, I don't know. But I do know this, that when women behave in this manner, they need to be held accountable. When they openly admit that they behave in this manner, they need to be held accountable for it. They need to be held accountable for it. Period. This is not an indictment of all women. It's an indictment of this particular woman. This woman. This situation. But it's reflective of a wide variety of situations because she's not the only woman who comports herself in this manner. She's not the only woman who does this. There are many women who do this. I'm not saying all women do this, but a lot of women do it. And when they do it, they need to be held accountable for it. Now, I'm just letting people know right now, okay? I've studied the subject matter of domestic violence. I've studied it. And for the most part, 84% of relationships are not violent at all. People argue or whatever the case may be. And if there's any kind of violence, it's very, very light. There's no striking, punching, slapping, kicking, or biting, none of that. That's 84% of the relationships that people have. They're not violent at all. But the rest of the 16%, you have typically what's called bi-directional violence. And it's built off of escalation, meaning curse words happen. Somebody pushes or gets close to somebody, then it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's how it occurs. Typically, most often, that is what occurs. That is what happens. But then there's a small amount of cases in which there is something called terroristic domestic violence. I'm telling you this so that you can understand it. If you don't believe me, go research it. Go research it so that you can have a greater understanding of what it is, how it occurs most commonly. But there are cases in which domestic violence is unidirectional and there's terrorism involved, where a woman or a man holds the other person hostage and commits terrible acts of violence against the other individual. Not often, but I mean, you know, it's one in which there's a unidirectional display of violence. Now, this is the popular imagery that's put forth all throughout the media and in the public related to the subject matter of domestic violence. This becomes the way that it's presented to the public, such that there are terrible acts, heinous acts being committed against women. And then they also never disclose that women also do this. If hardly, if ever, do you see any popular or public expression of the fact that women also do this. You don't get that. All you get is the man directed violence, the male directed violence towards a woman. You never get it the other way around. Now, when it comes to bidirectional violence, women are just as likely, if not more likely, to strike their partners as men. Like, I don't know how many times I have to go over this. I don't know how many times I have to speak on this. But I feel the need to, because people are coming at me, and I'm going to show you, like, I pinned somebody in the comment section of the last video I put out there. And it's indicative of the reason why we're not going to be able to make any dent in this kind of phenomena. We're not going to be able to mitigate it if people are not willing to tell the truth about it. And they're not willing to hold women accountable for what they do when they do violent acts. We're not going to be able to make any dent in it. I can tell you right now that for the most part, women are on cold with domestic violence. They're going to eschew it. They're going to deride it. They're going to put people on blast when they do it, specifically men. They will do that. But then you got a group of men who will downplay violence from women. They'll downplay it. They'll come and defend and protect them. That essentially is killing code. You're killing the code. It's not telling the truth about the phenomena, and it won't get us where we need to be in terms of improving or mitigating the kind of circumstances which lead to it in our community. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen if we don't get on code. And people who do it should be put on blast when they do it. Women need to be held as accountable as men as it pertains to this phenomenon. However, men suffer dire consequences from it, whereas women seem to be able to sidestep all of the pitfalls related to it. That's unjust. I've spoken about this over and over again. I don't know why I have to continue to go over this, but go over it I will. Go over it I will. Now, I recently had a guy or a girl, because you can't tell who is who in the cyberspace. I don't know who, but they left a comment, and I want you to see the comment. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share this screen, and I'm going to go show you what it is I'm talking about. So it's a guy called Black Wall Street, or a girl, ain't no telling, okay? And so for the most part, and I'm not trying to disparage this person, I'm not attacking them, I'm attacking what they're saying. So he gets on my page and says, I don't know why a lot of the guys in the comment section are shitting on Megan because she went to jail. She walked away and he followed. Now, first of all, you're assuming that she's telling the story exactly gospel truth, for one. She walked away and he followed her and he put his hands on her and then he took and broke her phone. But we already know she already grabbed his phone. We know how this story goes, man. Let's not sit here and play games with this. You mean you snatched the phone, but then she walked that back and said, well, he was just texting like a bitch, and then he did this like a bitch, and then he gave me the phone. Like, we already know how this goes. She probably was trying to get at his phone. He probably was trying to stop her from getting at his phone. And then he ended up giving her the damn phone. Like, damn, man, ain't nobody. Then he finally comes clean and says, okay, I got this chick pregnant, man. This is before you, whatever, who knows? I don't know. Could have just hit her, and when they was together, I don't know, but that doesn't matter. It still does not give a woman the justification to put her hands on somebody. Or, as you saw recently, like to shoot somebody. Recently, there was a woman who shot a man because he refused to argue with her. There's another incident in which a woman set a man's car on fire because she was mad at him. So anyway, let me go back to this. So she walked away and he followed her and he put his hands on her and then took and broke her phone and she hit him. The cops came and she would not snitch because of the G Street code. And she said she did not want to send a black man to jail and he lied on her. No, what did he lie about? What did he lie about? What did he lie about? They're out in the open, in the public. She is clowning. She already said she was clowning. She already said she's got a bad temper. She already just basically disclosed that she on some BT 1000 type shit. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. Okay? She already said that that's how she gets, that's how she acts, that's how she carries herself. She already said that she puts her hands on niggas, but she walks it back though. I'm not encouraging people to do this, but I have been known to do it. It was fun. It was a beautiful toxic relationship. Like, what the fuck, man? A beautiful toxic relationship. It was fun. This is the kind of shit that gets niggas locked up, man. Women clowning. This is the kind of shit that gets men locked up. So he says, and he lied on her. He never said that, and she never said that he was putting his hands on her. She said the man basically was trying to grab her, not punch and slap the shit out of her, not hit him. He was trying to grab her or put, first of all, if you're trying to chase somebody or you're trying to get them to come to you, what the fuck are you pushing them for? That's just my viewpoint on it all. But I don't know the intricacies or the intimacies of that interaction. I don't know. All I can do is speculate. Okay? But at the end of the day, this individual says, who knows and who cares? Then he comes on and says, or she, who knows, you got a lot of black women who use the police as a weapon against black men when they are angry. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay? But Megan doesn't come off like that type of feminist black female. She doesn't come off like she listens to bell hooks. Who gives a fucking fuck, man, whether or not she listens to bell hooks, whether or not she's a feminist or not? That's not the point. The point is when women get irate and they start attacking and acting crazy and mannish with men, they create the context, the drama, the situation, the circumstances in which shit gets out of control. And when they do that, they need to be held accountable for that. Now, once do I see this person say anything condemning her previous history with violence or admission that she's been violent, her vulgarity, her typical comportment, none of this. All I see is somebody making excuses for ratchetness and craziness, man, and toxicity. That's what I see here. I think many of the men in this comment section have a deep-seated hatred of black females. Where do you see any of us in this sphere talking about we hate women? Where have you ever heard me say on my channel anywhere that I hate women? This ain't got shit to do with hating a whole gender, a whole sex. It has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with having a particular distaste for a set of actions that a group or a gender can engage in that works to the detriment of men. This is what we have a problem with. Or one of the things we have a problem with. There's a multitude of things we have a problem with. It's not hatred. We're targeting specific behaviors. We're not targeting persons here. We're not targeting sexes. We're not targeting genders. But I guess nowadays, to even say something that runs contrary to conventional wisdom about the subject matter leads people to think that you're engaging in hate speech or that you're being misogynistic. Or whatever, you pick whatever term. I don't care, man. Whatever term you want to pick it. Then the guy goes in and says, right, you'd know better than the black females on Paris, Milan, Chrissy, Cynthia G, and blah, 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 da, 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 da. So ultimately, the reason I'm saying all of this is because I wanted to give this person the pen of shame. Because in my viewpoint, you're trying to defend the indefensible. You're trying to give sanction to that which cannot be given sanction to. You're trying to basically flip the script and flip the narrative and say, well, you know, it seemed like to me she a down ass bitch, man. It seemed like to me the way she tell the story, it was all dude's fault. And he lied and he snitched on her. And y'all hating on her. Like, are you fucking her or something? What, you a fan? You a stan? You got a personal interest in her career? You're a manager? You're a label or something? Like, what's good? All I'm trying to do is point out responsibility goes both ways. It's a double-edged sword. You want rights, along with rights come an attendant set of responsibilities and an attendant set of culpability and duties when you violate other people's rights. That's what we're trying to articulate here. Then he goes on to say, Green Gorilla household, I don't tolerate black females, anti-black male misandry, and I'm by no means a carpet rug for black women to talk on or to walk on, I guess, whatever. But I also don't have this misogynistic hatred of women either. You just posted a video of Megan Thee Stallion and you expected me to shit on her simple because she a black female. When did I say that? I just had a black female on my channel and we had a conversation for 2 hours. I'm just trying to point out that we can't solve these kind of problems if we can't get on code. Now, this man says he doesn't like black feminism or a woman. Who knows if it's an agent, somebody just trying to be a provocateur? I don't know. But it speaks to the mentality, not just of this person, but a whole host of persons. This is not a unique kind of perspective that's being set forth here. This is pretty common. This is a pretty common position. Where if you're holding women accountable for bullshit, then you get labeled as some sort of messiah. Oh, you don't like women. You don't want to protect women. You got this animosity and this venom that you're directing towards women. He says, oh, I thought you were a YouTuber who makes counter arguments against black feminism and anti-black male misandry. You seem black pill to me and not red pill. Personally, I don't even know what the fuck black pill is. So I'm about to get out of this thing. What is black pill? Explain to me what that shit is, because I don't even know what it is. Can somebody please give me some insight into what the fuck black pill is? What is it? I'm asking. I'm looking at the comment section right now because I don't know what it is. What is black pill? Because I know red pill means, okay, men need to wake up, realize what women do, hold them accountable for, and be responsible, have them be responsible for their actions. What is black pill? I guess let me guess what it is. And you tell me if I'm right or wrong about it. Is it like somebody who's involuntarily celibate? Is that what it is? Is it somebody who can't, or somebody who's decided to just leave women alone or something like that? I don't know, man. Look, I don't know, okay? But all I do know is, all I'm trying to do is point out ignorant, over the top, ratchet, and toxic behavior. And it doesn't matter if it's something acted out by a man or a woman. I'm an equal opportunity finger pointer. But that's neither here nor there, okay? At the end of the day, I'm getting all of this, right? I'm going back to it because I'm just trying to underscore my point. The next thing I get is, look, so I make a statement. Disgust directed towards vice is a virtue. Otherwise, you would not know how to distinguish one from the other, namely virtue from vice, right? In your day-to-day experience. If you cannot see something went awry in this woman's educational process, I don't know what to tell you. And then I listed a statement from Aristotle. Ultimately, because I am a philosopher and I thought that the statement pretty much underscored the point I was trying to make, which is a proper student of ethics must already have substantial life experience and training in virtue. Otherwise, he will not profit from the subject because he is more inclined to listen to his passions or his feelings than to reason. What does this mean? It means if you ain't got no home training already, we can't really actually have a discussion about what's right and wrong and what men and women shouldn't do or they should do, because all you're going to do is work off your emotions. That's what the viewpoint is I was trying to articulate. Then the next thing you get is from this individual is more excuses. She's a product of her environment. You got just as many black men just like her, who you can say the same thing about. Stop trying to act as if black males are morally superior to black women. When the fuck did anybody say any such bullshit? Never was this said on my channel. You'll never hear me say that on my channel. The only point I have made over with and over with and over and over and over with again is this. Men and women are fallible. Premise number one, meaning neither one of them are perfect, right? So if they're not perfect, each of them are capable of wrongdoing. So premise one, men and women are fallible. Men and women are capable of wrongdoing or doing wrong. A man can do something wrong to a man or to a woman. A woman can do something wrong to a woman or to a man. That's basically the premise of which I'm operating by. Nothing more, nothing less. If a man fucks up, men typically hold the man accountable for his fuck up. When women fuck up, women try to deflect, finger point, remove themselves from the purview of responsibility. They do everything to obfuscate and to shift the blame on to somebody else. Not all women, but there are a large amount of women who do this. And it's because culturally, and this is just a recent phenomenon, this is just something part and parcel of Western culture. The women are wonderful effect. Like they can do no wrong. Women can do wrong. And when they do wrong, they need to be held accountable for it. That's the context in which I'm working. That's the frame under which I'm working. No more, no less. Women can be some fucking awesome creatures. They can be wonderful, stupendous, and marvelous. All that good shit. And they can also be dirtbags and assholes. Just like anybody else can. Just like a man can. Period. That's all I'm saying. Now, does this society give women certain privileges? Yes, they do. Right now, it's masculinity and the idea or the concept of manhood under attack by feminists, and that this kind of way of thinking is beginning to filter into popular culture. Yes, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Yes, that is occurring and that is happening. But this has begun to shift the focus off of the behavior of a specific person, and then it becomes directed towards somebody pointing the behavior out. Then that person, instead of the person who committed the act, becomes the person culpable or someone who's engaged in vice or immersed in vice. We talked about this. On the video with Dr. Johnson, myself, and Marcus Aurelius, we have a 2-hour discussion about this. 2 hours. 2 motherfucking hours. Now, this is somebody in the manosphere who says that they like the work of Curry and Johnson. Then they bring this to me. Look, so look, it says, look, you're textbook educated. No shit. Who does not have a PhD that's not textbook educated? You lack the fluidity that Hassan Johnson has. You mean what kind of fluidity are you talking about? I know you ain't talking about gender fluidity. What are you talking about? The fluidity? You mean I don't talk the way Dr. Hassan Johnson talks? You mean I don't communicate the way he talks? You mean I don't use graduated terminology in order to express myself the way that Dr. Johnson does? Well, look, it should be quite fucking apparent I'm not Dr. Hassan Johnson, man. That's another individual with a different set of experiences and a whole different background than I have. I happen to know him. I happen to be friends with the man. So now I can't quote other people? Stop quoting other people. Like what? How you gonna tell somebody else what to do in relation to or in terms of it trying to express an ideal? See this? Look, let me just say this, and I'm gonna end this, okay? Hassan Johnson seeks to repair and fix the Black community and counter this toxic Black female feminism used by white supremacy as a proxy to divide and conquer our community. You're just an angry Black pill individual and want to destroy our people out of spite. How are you any better than Michelle Wallace and the Black women on the grapevine on YouTube? Now look, I'm getting out of this, right? So let me get out of this. All right, let me stop sharing the screen. So look, I don't care if nobody likes this video or not, because this is the title of the video is Men Are Not on Code. Especially in this sphere. If you're in this sphere and you're listening to the work of scholars who do Black masculinist studies, you're off of code. We just talked about it. Go back and listen to the video and you'll see this individual is off code. Why do you care about how I'm articulating my sentences and whether or not I'm angry or I'm not angry? Or I'm expressing myself in one particular way or not a particular way? Why do you feel like you're able to regulate or police my emotions? If I'm pissed off about something, I got a right to be pissed off about whatever the fuck I'm pissed off about. At the end of the day, I told you all when I started this channel, first of all, I told you, this ain't a relationship channel. I ain't got no advice for you about how to deal with women. I'm not going to ask you to have one viewpoint or another about women. What you do with women, you choose to do with women. That's on you, man. I can tell you this, respect yourself. This is not a game channel. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm not trying to give you game. Be yourself, man. Be who you are. And don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of. Because I believe men and women are fallible. Both men and women can do right or wrong. I've also stated that women have a tremendous amount of power institutionally, and they exercise it quite often by proxy. I've made this case over and over and over again, but I also, when I started this channel, the first thing that I said, the first thing that I did was I made the statement that the Black community is a body politic. Do you recall when I said that? If you look at the older videos, you'll see it stated there. We live as Black people in a body politic that at the current moment is like Humpty Dumpty. After the civil rights movement, The Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and had a great fall. Now, I don't know how many kings, horsemen, and queens women are going to be able to, put this damn thing back together again. It may be irreparable. I don't know. But I do know if it will be repaired, there must be accountability on all sides. That everybody's issues need to be brought to the fore. All of this wrangling and all of the obfuscation, all of the gaslighting, the sneak dissing, I don't like how you talk and I don't like how you bring it forward like this and like that. So fucking what? You don't get to police other people's speech. We are not on code when you come like that. So if we're in a body politic, everybody's interests need to be observed. Everybody needs to have the capacity or the ability to speak their piece, to be able to present their arguments, to be able to present their positions. And when you see somebody clowning and acting a damn clown and then trying to shift responsibility to somebody else and to deflect and to lie and then to run back and say, we ain't protected, we need protection, we go through so much. I can't feel that. I'm sorry. I can't get with that. That's not something I'm going to feel like I need to observe and respect. Sorry. That's like the little boy who cried wolf. You can't be out here acting like you a savage and then get fucked up, but you savage though. Huh? How you gonna be out here savage talking about you pushing niggas' wigs back, you slapping motherfuckers, you mannish and you do all kind of wild shit and you laughing about slapping niggas and yeah, I'll go upside a nigga's head, that nigga had it coming. That's not how a lady thinks for real. Not for real. First of all, a real woman understands, look here, man, I can't whip this nigga's ass. I cannot. I can't whip his ass. Or maybe if you're Megan Thee Stallion, the dude is 120 pounds, he's like 5'3", maybe you feel like you can whip his ass. But I don't think the size had anything to do with it. I think the training, the background, the classical conditioning, and the inability for men and women to hold women responsible for this type of behavior, this attitude, this comportment, this disposition, I think that's part of the problem. Is part of the problem. So when I try to point out the problem, or when I put somebody on blast for being, off of code, even though they say they own code, they say they outfit this demographic, meaning black men in the United States. If I put a black woman on blast for being a fucking savage and not taking responsibility for toxic behavior, then you come out and you got people who will come out and say they all about this space, they all about this red pill life, but then, I'm going to try to defend the indefensible. How do you contend with that shit? How do you contend with it in this space? Now, I don't know this person, man. I'm not trying to level anything about their character. I don't know. I'm just saying you got some holes in the way you're thinking. But we talked about this. Go back and look at the video. Go back and peep it. You will see. You will see. But if you don't, put it like this. At the end of the day, if you don't agree with what's being said on this channel, is one easy thing you could do. Real easy to do. It's just a fucking click away. Any other video, any other web page, any other whatever you want to do. You don't have to sit and listen to this. This is non-obligatory. This is non-conditional. This is not imperative. This is not something you have to do. This is not a necessity for you to listen to the G with a PhD go on a rant about anything whatsoever. You have your choices. You can make whatever choices you want to make. But what you're not going to do is sit here and try to throw dissension in the ranks between me and my motherfucking colleagues, man. That's what you're not going to do. Because these are people I know. These people you know by proxy because you done seen them, you done read a book, or you done seen them on YouTube. These are the people I done had real life conversations with, partner, been up in the same spaces with. Been in my house. When you talking about Curry. You don't even know me, dude. That's a problem, man. Like, we're not going to deal with attacking people in this space, man. So you can agree, but when you do, or you can disagree. But if you do, don't come, man, with that COINTELPRO bullshit, because we don't do that, man. We don't move like that. We do not move like that. So cease and second with the division and all that bullshit. Go to somebody else's page or somebody else's channel and start that bullshit. We don't do that here, man. Even if we disagree, we don't come out and make claims about the character of people. We don't do that, man. Not in this area, not in this space. So in other words, don't come to my shit with that bullshit no more. I'm gonna ban you for life. Don't come to my shit. Anyway, man, my view on this whole situation is, again, I'm not going to try to defend the indefensible. If somebody is exhibiting poor behavior or somebody is culpable for wrongdoing, I'm going to call them out on it. I don't care if they're male or female. I don't give a damn if they're 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. I don't give a shit. I'm cool with whoever. I'll be cool with anybody, to be quite honest. And I ain't never hated women. I just hate women that do some bullshit, especially to me. My hate might be too strong of a word, but I have an aversion for people that fuck me over, whether they're male or female, whether they got a uterus or a set of testicles. It don't matter to me, one way or the other. But you will not divide us, my boy. You won't divide us. We got to hold each other accountable. That's it. And that's that. So now you know my stance. Now you know the way I feel about it. I'm out of here. Y'all be peaceful, man. One.